Now, before we get started with any of this, you don't have to follow what I'm going to do step by step. The main tips and tricks are why you're here, but I am going to be playing through it at the same time. I'll be skipping ahead slightly, but I'm just going to show you the easiest way to get everything done. So as we make our way down into the first village here, you're going to want to start off by just hitting a bunch of bushes. Get yourself a couple of logs. So we have 2 logs there. So now we're going to go and hit some stone. You're not going to do too much damage to it, but don't worry, we're going to craft any second. Once we got a little bit going there, we're going to go into our inventory, hit craft at the top. We're going to craft ourselves a stone pickaxe. Once we've got that, we're going to craft ourselves a stone axe. Now go over to the workbench, and at the very top, you will see we can use a stone one-handed sword. Now this is going to make these first few steps super easy. So now as we hit down into this first village, we're going to want to talk to Camille right here. Now Camille is going to send us on a quest to repair the first tower. Each village in Craftopia Seamless has its own tower, which can be located using these blue beams, or if you look at the map, each tower is already displayed. But before we head over there, I'm just going to run back over and I'm going to steal this workbench. It's going to make life a little bit easier and save some trips. So now let's make our way round to that tower. We are going to take the path here and not swim across, just because we can collect everything we need on the way round. So any bushes we see, we're just going to come and give them a whack. That's going to give us a load of logs and some straw. We're just going to do this all the way around here. We're going to do this to trees, and we're also going to do it to the stone as well. And we can do all 3 tiers that the tower needs without having to come back over. And we're also going to collect some of this copper as well, which can be located with the little brown blocks on them. We're just going to hit those. The reason I jump and attack is because it does actually more damage. It does multiple hits in one go. Doesn't need to be done. Just a little bit of a meta. Now, as we come across this bridge, you can see these sheep on the side here. This is what we have our sword for. We're just going to kill these sheep and collect the sheep wool and the leather. And then we're going to carry on collecting our resources on the way around. So we've already got a level. We will go through skill points shortly, but they're not too important this early on. And these tips are all going to be done before you can even hit level 10. And we also want to kill these cows here as well, because we're going to need the leather. You don't have to craft the sword to kill these. You could use your axe, but it's just a lot slower. The sword will speed this up. But carry on collecting the resources. We're pretty much at the tower now. We still need some more copper. And there we go. We've got enough copper. You need 20 copper. But you can look at that. You don't have to do this as quick as what I'm doing it. You could just do 1 tier at a time. I'm just trying to speed things up nice and quick to show you how fast it can be. So the first tier, we've got the stone, we got the sand, and we got the logs. We're going to hit construct. This little cutscene will go on, and that will be tier 1 complete. And we're going to go straight on to tier 2. Which we might already have everything except the old rags. Go to repair. So we just need a couple more leather and sheep wool. And then we need some old rags as well. So let's throw down that workbench. And we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to craft 10 old rags. While they're crafting, I'm just going to run back round to those sheep and to the cows to make sure we've got everything we need for that second tier. So the cow is already back here. Let's cook him up. There's 8 leather. We need 2 more leather, which we will get from the sheep. And we should get our max sheep wool from this as well. And 1 more. Ow. And there we go. Let's head back round. Now, I also recommend making sure that you still have some straw, because we're going to craft a few more old rags. And I'll explain why shortly. So our workbench is done here. We've got our 10 old rags. Let's run up and repair this second tier. There we go. That's tier 2 complete. And we got our final tier, which we should already have 20 copper. But you go and collect the copper if needed. So you can see we need 20 copper and we need 5 of these placeable torches. So back down to our workbench here. And about halfway down, just over, you can see them here. We need 1 old rag. So that means we need 5 because we need 5 torches. So craft another 5. While they're finishing, I'm just going to grab some straw and stuff from around me. Always handy to have straw and logs, especially at this early point of the game. Once we got those old rags, go down to the torches. And we need 5 of those. And once they're crafted, that is all 3 tiers of the tower already done. And we haven't even finished the first in-game day yet. And there we go. We got everything we need. Job done. So this final animation will now go up. It will send the beam out across the whole map. And basically that allows you to see where resources are on the map. So when you fully finish a tower, you will see, you can now see where all the fast travels are. Super useful, but it's not important to us right now. Now, just before we continue here, I'm just going to go back into the workbench and I'm going to craft another 5 old rags. Now, once that's complete, I'm going to go to my craft menu and I'm going to craft myself a bright wooden bed. This will allow you to not only set a spawn point, but also be able to skip the night. Now I'm going to pick up the workbench and I'm going to make my way back round. I'm going to gather myself some more straw again. And I'm still going to stick to the path here because I want more leather from these cows. And there's level 3. Now, keep an eye down in the bottom right-hand corner. Make sure you're claiming any missions. They're super useful. You can get skill points or inventory spaces. Very useful. And then I'm going to go into my skills. And personally, for this early on in the game, I'm just going to put everything onto movement. I'm going to go onto rabbit jump, double jump, and then I'm also going to put dolphin swim. It's very useful this early on. And I'm going to kill these sheep as well. Now, as you can see, it's now nighttime. So I'm just going to throw down the bed. Get some sleep, and when we wake up, we got a bright sunny day again, and we can go about our business. Now we're going to head over to Camille because we've repaired the tower, and we're going to turn in that quest. And there we go, and she is now going to reward us with everything we need to progress age, which we need to head back over to the repaired tower to do so, but I'm just going to throw down this workbench again, and I'm going to go into the workbench, and I just need 5 old rags to create this glider. So we're going to craft another 5. So you could do this all in one go, but it's just easier to do one thing at a time to stay on top of it. So there we go. Now I'm going to craft myself a glider, which is going to make movement a lot easier. And there we go. We now have a glider. I'm going to pick my workbench back up, equip the glider. You don't need it on your bar. It will stay in your equipped items. We're going to make our way back over. Now the great thing is about the glider is we can just start to skip a lot of this now. And there's another 4 skill points, so I'm going to go all into rabbit jump. I love rabbit jump. It allows you to jump super high, and then you've got the double jump as well, combined with the glider, and we are already flying with the movement. Head up to the tower here. Now, because the tower's repaired, you have to activate this in the middle, and it will act as an elevator and take you all the way to the top. So now we're going to go into this. We're going to go to age evolution, and you can see here, this is everything you will unlock for progress in age. It's not everything, but it's most of the important stuff, and we've already got all the resources, so we're going to hit progress age. Now, I know this has been a bit fast-paced, but this isn't even the tips or tricks yet. This is just getting started. We've now progressed the age, so we're going to head back to Camille. Luckily, we got our glider, so we can make our way straight over. And this is why it's handy to have a glider and double jump, because you can technically fall all the way from here and don't worry about fall damage, because as you get close, you can just redeploy that glider. And it's so much nicer for movement. So now let's come over here and talk to Camille. And there we go, we've progressed age. Now, this is the reason we did this. She's going to reward us with a motorcycle, which is going to come super handy in one of our next tips and tricks. But before I do that, I'm actually going to talk to this merchant here, and I'm going to purchase this pitchfork. It's not needed, but I like it, and I'll show you why. Now, in Craftopia Seamless, there is 2 merchants per village. One, which is a standard gold merchant. You can spend your money here on various items. Some stuff is super useful. And we have a second merchant per village, like this one here, which is a produce merchant. This means you can trade farming produce for items. This one being potato merchant. So usually you would farm up potatoes to then trade for rice or whatever it may be. But I'm going to show you a little trick to make this all a lot easier. You can actually kill merchants and they will drop the top item they are selling. So for example, every produce merchant, their top item will be the seed that they need or you need to progress tier. So for this potato seed, I can simply equip my pitchfork here and I can kill this guy. You could just use the sword here, it'd probably be easier, but the pitchfork will come in handy later. But there we go, we just got a potato seed for killing him. Don't worry, he will respawn. And I could also do the same to this guy if I wanted to. It's not as needed because his top item is just a log. But if I kill him, it would be a good example, he will drop that log. And using that method will make the next tip crazy. You can get yourself a free helicopter right from the start. All you need to do is make your way over to the 4th tower. Now, I know this might seem so far away, but we have that motorcycle, so it's going to be a lot easier. But before we head over, we want to head back to the tower, throw on any points we have, and we want to make our way back to that first tower we repaired. Now, if we head behind this tower, just over to this corner of the mountain here, you can see just off to the distance, you can see a beach around there. We want to head to that beach first. So all I'm going to do is just jump straight down here. I've got my double jump so I can actually come down a mountain nice and easy. And I'm going to use that motorcycle to make this all a lot easier. You can head there on foot if you want, but it will be super risky and it would take you a long time. Whereas with a motorbike, they're not the easiest to ride, but it will go a lot faster. Don't worry about your motorbike taking damage. You can just pick your motorcycle up and it will repair the damage. So we are down by the beach here. As you can see, the beach is here. You can mark it on your map if needed. But if we come up this hill here, we have this little hut. We're just going to come up to the hut and we can get ourselves a free well. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but it will be useful, trust me. We're going to take that well. We've stolen that. Now we're going to continue to make our way to the 4th tower. But first, we're actually going to stop by this 2nd tower because we are so close. So we're just going to come over this way here, straight up this hill. And there we go. We are already in the 2nd village. So I'm going to take a left here, jump off the bike, going to pick the bike up, which again will repair any damage that was taken. And I'm going to come up this mountainside right here to the tower itself. Now with these towers, you have to open the little statue thing here for that tower to now be activated. But it means that I can now hit fast travel and go between those 2 towers. So that's super useful for future fast travel. Now I'm going to head back down into the village, straight across here to the produce merchant. So here is our produce merchant here. We're just going to come and see what he trades. As you can see, top item is a rice seed. So we're going to need that. Now, this is where I like to use the pitchfork, because the higher tier villages, these merchants can get pretty high level, and that sword doesn't do a lot of damage, but the pitchfork does. In fact, if you hold attack and you throw it, you're going to do big damage to him, and it's just going to speed this whole process up. Then once he dies, there we go. We got our rice seed, and we can just click, bring the pitchfork back, and now we're going to continue our journey up to the 4th tower. Now, if this is your first time playing, I highly recommend to be hitting all of the fast travel points along the way to unlock them, and also anytime you hear the chest noise, be sure to go and grab it. You want to stock up on as much stuff as you can get. I'm just not going to bother, but oh no, that's okay. Grab it quick. Oh, I've just lost my motorbike. Okay, never mind. I'm going on foot. Avoid water. So here we are. I've reached the 4th village. Before I do anything, I'm going to head over to the tower over here to activate that. That's going to help us for future fast travels. Just come up and activate this here. There we go. And now I'm going to head down to the village. And this is where the real fun begins. So as you can see, I have 2 merchants here. This one is our produce merchant. And we want that cabbage seed, so we're going to go ahead and kill him. Going to take slightly longer now because we have a low tier weapon, and these are level 30. We're level 6. So we're not going to do the craziest amount of damage, but if I did this with the sword, I would have been here for quite some time. But he's going to die, and there we go. Got ourselves a cabbage seed, but this is the most important one. Now, if I trade this merchant, you can see it only has sulfur and crystal. The strange thing is about this merchant is once we kill him, we're going to go boom, and he is going to drop us a helicopter, which to have a helicopter this early on is going to be such a big advantage. Now, it is getting nighttime, but we're not going to leave this village yet. I'm just going to sleep to skip this night. And now we're going to put the helicopter into action. So I'm going to throw down the helicopter. I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to fly kind of northeast. And as you can see, there's some builds down here, and we are coming to steal them. Now, one of the best items in all of Craftopia is this right here, a livestock breeder. We're going to get these cows off. We don't care about the cows. There we go. And I'm going to pick the build up. And there we go. We have a breeding facility already, which is super useful. I'm also going to steal these conveyor belts for future use. And I'm even going to take this cooking pot because it's very useful. And we are already off to an amazing start. But I'm going to head back up to this fast travel point and we're going to do our next tip or trick. So for our next tips or tricks, we're going to be talking about tomato seeds. Tomato seeds, in my opinion, are the best tier in the game. But they are one of the highest tiers and can take a long time to farm up to. But we can use our previous 2 tips or tricks, the one for getting the free seeds and using our helicopter, for a very good reason. But I do not recommend doing this unless you got this free helicopter, because we are now going to make our way down to this tower right here, which is the Archipelago Tower. It's a very high point in the game and you shouldn't be going there this early on, but the helicopter is going to allow us to avoid any enemies. So mark it on your map, jump in the helicopter, and make your way over there. It is going to be quite a journey, but trust me, it will be worth it. And there we go. We are in Archipelago. Now, before we go down into the village, we're going to head to the beam and activate the tower for future fast travel. So I'm going to activate this. There we go. Jump back in my helicopter. Turn myself around and head down to this little village down here. And right in the center of this village is our produce merchant. And I'm sure you can guess what we're going to do next. But before we kill him, I'm going to take a look at his stock, because this is where tomatoes become the best tier in the game. Tomato seeds, top item. So when we kill him, he is going to drop a tomato seed. But also farming plots are only 1 tomato per plot, as opposed to the potato merchant where it's 50 potatoes for 1 plot. Mind you, when we grow these produce, we're only going to get 4. But I'm going to show you another trick that's going to make that all a lot easier. But another crazy trick with this merchant is what else he sells. He also sells 1000 XP potions for 150 tomatoes. It does only say 1 in stock, but that's per day. So you can just sleep in the bed, wake up, buy another, and we are going to have a whole bunch of produce when we get onto some of the other tips and tricks I'm going to cover in this video. So let's start off by killing this guy. He's going to take us the longest. He's level 35, but this spear will knock him out. So we can just keep hitting him. His health's going down nice and quick. And our final hit. There we go. And we got ourselves a tomato seed already, which is insane. So now we're going to jump back in our helicopter, head back up to that tower up there, and go back to the first village where the fun shall begin. I'm going to pick up my helicopter here. I want to keep hold of this, although we can go back to that village and kill that merchant over and over if you want more helicopters. We're now going to hit fast travel and we're going to go back to this very first tower. Once we're back here, we're going to head back over to the first part of the village over here. Now we're going to need to do something with all of these seeds we are gathering. So here we have 4 plots that you get given right from the start. I'm going to pick up these 4. I'm now going to come over to this side here and I'm going to place them down in a grid of 4 like this. Now I'm going to equip my seed, but right now I'm going to start with rice and I'll show you why shortly. I'm also going to get our well out here to start gathering that water. Now I'm going to equip the rice seed and I'm going to stand and aim in the center of all 4 of these, and boom, that will do all 4 with 1 seed. Now I'm going to collect a bucket of water. There we go. And I'm going to splash all 4 with a single bucket of water. Now we're going to wait for these produce to grow. And while we're waiting for this to grow, why don't you just scroll on down on this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe. You may as well do something while you're waiting for them to grow. Okay, so our crops have grown here. So I'm just going to go and harvest all of these. As you can see, we only get 4 per plot. So this can take a long time to do the farming and go up through the tiers normally. Once we have that rice, I'm now going to go into here and I'm now going to grow the tomato seeds just like so. Do the bucket of water again. And while those tomatoes are growing, I'm going to make my way over to the second village again to go get myself another rice seed. So here we are at the second produce merchant. Now we could kill him for a free seed, but we now have rice. So I'm just going to buy myself, say, 5 rice seeds. That's going to set us up for this next step. Now let's head back to the first village where we should have our tomatoes fully grown. So we have a nice lot of tomatoes here. Let's farm all of these up. And there we go. We have 16 tomatoes. I'm now going to pick up these farming plots. And I'm going to make my way back to the fast travel to go to Archipelago again. So we're back at this merchant here. Now I'm going to find this farming plot. I'm going to buy max, but I'm going to take one off. So I keep one tomato. And I'm going to purchase all of those. Now we have 19 farming patches, which is super OP for this early on in the game. I'm going to grab my helicopter, fly back up to that fast travel, and go back to the first village again. We're going to use the first village as our kind of base, but if you want to take this stuff with you and do it as you go, you absolutely could. But I like to just go back and use that as my little home point. Okay, so here we are back in this village here. I have 19 farming plots. Now, previously, we put down 4 farming plots and used 1 seed on all of them. Well, I'm going to show you how to use as many farming plots as you like and still only use 1 seed per grow. Now, this is a little bit tricky to explain, but bear with me here. I'm going to do my best. First of all, we're going to go to our craft menu and we're going to craft some slopes or some diagonal walls as they call them. Now I'm going to equip the farming plot we have. And this is one type of gridlock where it moves a big square at a time. We're going to leave that for the farming plot. But I'm going to equip the ramp and I'm going to press B, or if you're using controller, I believe it's up on the D-pad, but you'll be able to see down in the bottom left corner. I'm going to change the gridlock to where it's little movements like this. And I'm going to rotate it around, line it up with the back of the farming plot, and I'm going to place it in the floor. Now, as you can see, if I line it up, I want it right there. So just over halfway in the floor and also touching the back of the farming plot. As you can see, it's not going to let us place it because the farming plot is there. So I'm going to move 1 step to the left. If it moves too much, reposition yourself. Make it easier. I'm going to move it 1 step to the left. You see, just like that. And I'm going to place it here. That's going to be our guide. So now I'm going to pick up this farming plot. I'm going to bring this back here again. And now I'm going to place it 1 step to the right. Just like so. Now I'm going to pick up this top slope. If you want to make sure you're picking up the right one, turn on retrieve mode, which will also give you the keybind down in the bottom left. On PC, it's V. I'm going to press this and that will make this ramp glow white. Now I can pick this up. So now we have this ramp halfway in the floor like so. Now when I equip the farming plot, I'm going to change the grid mode so that it's the big movements again. Now, as you can see, I can now place this farming plot down. Now, if you've been around on the channel for a while, you will know that I am mostly known for stacking farming plots. Well, this is one of the only ways to do it in Seamless, and a lot of people think it's not doable. Well, here you go. This is how you do it. So now I can place this down and it will go down, and I can do the same again. And I can do this over and over for as many plots as I like. Now, if when placing these down, one jumps out of the ground slightly, so it's 1 tier higher. There you go. So as you can see, it now looks like there's 2. I'm just going to walk on it and it will correct itself. And I can go back to placing even more in. I'm just going to do it until it goes in the ground. Or you could do it like this where you're stood on it and it does it, but you still need to walk on and off to get it to go in. It's a bit of a trick, but it's easy to do, trust me. Then once that goes in, there we go. There is 19 farming plots in this 1 square, which means I can now equip the seed and plant all of those farming plots with a single seed. But we're not going to do tomato yet. We're going to start with rice. So I'm going to equip the rice seed. I'm going to splash it on there, get myself a bucket of water, splash that. And now we're going to wait for these to grow. So our first batch is grown here. So we're just going to harvest these and you will see from those plots, we just got 76 rice. But we need more. So we're going to do this one more time. Throw the seed, throw the water, wait for it to grow. Now, while this is waiting to grow, you could do some of the other quests around here. You could do whatever you like. I'm just going to stand here and wait. And here is our second batch done. Harvest this. So we now have 163 rice. We need 150, so we have enough. So now we're going to make our way back to that second village. So we're going to come over to the produce merchant here, and we're going to buy the blueprint of seed extractor. It's actually 100 rice. My apologies. We still needed to do 2 batches either way, but there we go. We got this blueprint for the seed extractor. We're going to redeem that. And that is going to make our life a lot easier. No more killing merchants unless it's a tier that we don't have. But that's why we kept our 1 tomato. because we now no longer need to go back to Archipelago to kill him for tomato seeds. So we're going to go back home. I'm going to place down our workbench here. And here we have a seed extractor. Now, as you can see, we need a copper ingot. So we're just going to craft a furnace, which is just stone and logs. Super easy. Craft the furnace. Go into the furnace and create 5 copper ingots. We don't have enough. That's fine. There's copper very close to us. There we go. We should now have enough. There we go. 5 copper ingots. While we're waiting, let's skip this nighttime. Grab our ingots. Back into the workbench. Craft our seed extractor. Place this down near our farming plot. Now we can go into here and we can use our 1 tomato we have left. If you didn't save the 1 tomato, unfortunately you are going to need to go to Archipelago, grab another seed, come grow a batch. But then we're going to place our tomato into here, craft that. That's going to give us a seed. We can then go ahead and plant some tomatoes, which means we now have an unlimited seed supply because we just need to grow it. Put some in the seed extractor, grow it again. That's 1 seed for 76 produce or whatever it is. Incredible exchange rate. We can then use the tomatoes to buy even more farming plots to add to our stack here, or if you want to boost that XP. But either way, rinse and repeat and use this to buy some super important blueprints, such as livestock machines, breeding facilities, sprinklers, all sorts. But now let's take a step away from farming and seeds and let's go to more free stuff. If you visit these areas on the map, just like we did with the breeding facility and conveyor belts, you can get yourself free workbenches, scrap machines, refining benches, conveyor belts, excavators, cooking pots, breeding facilities, and even containers. Now, once you steal these, they won't respawn, but they're better off in your hands than the useless automations that Pocket Pair tried to create. And now for our final tips and tricks. And this one, it is a bit cheesy, but that's why you're here. In the very first village, this gold merchant, he sells a pitchfork, which we did buy previously, but if not, you're gonna wanna buy one now. If you have used up all your gold, just put down a market, sell whatever you can to get 500 gold and buy yourself this pitchfork. Now, as previously mentioned, this pitchfork acts as a spear, so you can hold the attack and throw the spear and you can then click to retrieve it. Now, before we head off, let's go into the workbench here and we're going to craft ourselves some prisms. They're very cheap. They're only 1 stone and 1 log for 5 of them. We don't even need 5, but I only have 2 logs on me. I'm just going to craft 10. And we're going to take these on a quick journey. Now, because we can throw and retrieve our spear, it means that we can cheese any mob in the game from a relatively good distance to where they will not aggro you. And this could mean you could get some high-level weapons from super early on. Here is an example. I am going to fast travel to the furthest point I can, which was our 4th tower. Now, I'm going to open my map, and I'm going to go all the way up to the Brigadine Valley Tower. So I'm here with my helicopter. I'm going to throw it down and off I go for a nice long ride. Now, as always, I'm going to activate the tower first, future fast travel, and if any mistakes are made and I need to get back here quick to gather stuff or do, you know, whatever, depending on the difficulty you're playing on, having each tower is super useful. So there we go, we have this tower. Now I'm going to hop back in the helicopter and I'm going to carry on flying. And I'm going to go straight over towards this gate over here. I'm going to fly straight over. And we see this little patch of land just in front of our propellers there with the gravestones on. And as we get closer, we will see a high-level wizard spawn in. Now, this guy would probably cook us if we were to fight it normally. But I'm going to land over this side here. I'm just going to pick up my helicopter. I'm now going to equip the spear, stand here, and I'm going to aim and throw until I get the distance right. Once I hit him, when he moves, he will teleport back to that exact same spot. So I can just carry on throwing over and over. And he's not going to attack us. We're too far away, and we can just pick his health off. Now, if we were to kill this wizard, he has a very small chance of dropping his staff, which is a high-level staff, especially for us being level 6 right now. So instead, we're going to use those prisms we captured, and we're going to capture the little guy. We're going to equip the prism, and I'm going to capture him. He broke out, but we have more. He's... okay, this is the worst RNG I've ever had for capturing. There we go. Now, once I've captured him, I could go and find another one at the same level, because we need to. But I'm going to be even cheesier than that. And I'm just going to hop back to the title screen real quick. Now I'm going to load back in. He should respawn. There we go. Equip the pitchfork and repeat. There we go. He's now one shot. I'm going to equip the prism and capture him as well. Now that now means we have 2 level 42 Thunder Wizards. Remember, we're level 6. Of course, this is the hardest capture I've ever done in my life. Usually it's 1 prism should be fine. There we go. We now have 2 of the exact same wizards. Now we're going to go back, grab our helicopter. The reason I picked it up is just in case when we hop back to title screen, the helicopter disappeared. It shouldn't do, but... better to be safe than sorry. Now we're going to head back to the tower and fast travel home. Now this doesn't have to be wizards. This could be any mob in the game. For example, I could do it on these goblins down here and potentially get the goblin sword. Or you could do it on the goblin archers and get yourself a bow. Do it on whatever you like. Just make sure you capture 2. They don't need to be the same level, but they do need to be the same type. And they need to be relatively close in level. Because if you lower the level, then the weapon could lower level as well. So let's fast travel home. Now we're going to come down here and I'm going to craft some standard wooden floors. They come in stacks of 10, super cheap. Just make them. And I'm going to build a little podium kind of thing in the water like this. Just like so. Now we're going to equip that free breeding facility that we stole. And I'm going to place it at the back of the water. And I'm going to throw these 2 electric wizards on here like this. Or thunder wizards, sorry. Now, this is now going to breed these. So that small chance of getting their weapon is irrelevant. Because we can keep them on here for as long as we need. And as you can see, their health does go down. But as soon as they get low health, I can just capture them and put them back on to refill that health. But there we go. The thunder wizard is there born into the water. We didn't get it this drop, but that's okay. We are also getting enchants from the gear as well. And we can just sit here and relax. Make sure we keep an eye on the health for the wizards that are on the breeding facility. And we're going to wait for that weapon drop. Okay, their health's getting a little bit low. So I'm just going to capture both of them. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go and sleep because it is now nighttime. And I also only have 1 prism left, so I'm going to craft a few more of them as well. And we can get straight back to it. Throw our wizards on and continue to wait. Oh, there we go. First one of the day. That's what we like to see. Capture these 2 back off the top. Keep them for later. And we now have a level 2 Wizard's Thunder Staff with Archmage and Wizard's Enchant. Look at all of the stats for that. And I'm level 6. So now we're just going to equip that staff. And now take a look at this. Let's see what level these guys are. What level are you? Level 32. Now this may not look like crazy damage, but trust me, for a level 6, this is insane. Look, I just hit a 582. What the hell is he? He's got ninja stars? I didn't even know that. Look, dead. And these are... look how far up the map I am right now. I should not be here. But there we go. I think we leave it there. I have so many more tips and tricks for beginners and for more advanced users. So if you would like a part 2 to this video, please do let me know. Also, please do drop a like and subscribe. Join the Caztecx Discord. All the links are down below. Have fun within Craftopia. It's a wonderful game. But for now, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!